All right, you know what it is, man. I feel like ride. We're gonna go to Miami Goom Bay, man. We're gonna talk about Miami Goom Bay. All right, that's what this is about, Miami Goom Bay, man. So sit back, enjoy the ride. I feel like riding today. Y'all wanna ride with me today, man? All right, let's start this thing, man. Keep it going, 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 keep it going. Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio, Mecca what? Mecca audio. I like the way it's going down. Alright, you know what it is. What's up? Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. Round of applause. I want to change it up because I've been doing this on, the prison stories, the code of conduct, and all that. So I'm going to give y'all the prison conduct roller, this how to move in society, in this world, in this universe in general. So this one here, I'm in Miami, you know what I mean? Let me give y'all a little picture so y'all can get a little visual on what's going on, all right? That's me and my man Diesel. We in Miami. We at 163rd Street Mall, across the street from Peaches, off of 441. So that's for my Miami people. Gunshots to Miami. Gunshots to Miami. Gunshots to Miami. All right, so let's go. I'm down in Miami. You see I'm wearing my little Giorgio Armani glasses, I'm just chilling. That's my 750 right there. And, I had the 750 with the, I had the BBS shoes on the joint. Them joints cost about maybe 12,000 just for the, rims and tires. But now I'm chilling. None of that is to brag. Just let you know how a nigga was living, getting that money, and let you know it wasn't worth it any of the day because I spent 26 and a half years in federal prison for putting those $12,000 shoes on that 750. And I'm telling you, it wasn't worth it. Now, I'm in Miami. We shoot to the mall. We go to the mall. We meet a bunch of little young girls out there at the mall. They telling us, what's going on out there. Anytime. So you know how to hustle. That's why I said I give y'all the game, and the game is to be sold, not told. Anytime you go to Miami, and when you go to Miami, you got, let me see the best way to put it. You go to Miami, it's like a whole nother world down there. It's at the other end of the United States. A lot of people back then didn't even know that Miami was a part of the, United States. You know what I'm saying? So they sat there, and while we down there in Miami, these little girls pulled up on about 4 or 5 girls. We took a bunch of pictures by the 750 and all that. We leave there. We shoot over there by North Miami, over there by, Cal City. So we by the flea market, USA Flea Market. Right around the corner from the Pork and Beans Projects. Because, man, they had the projects called the Pork and Beans Projects. I think that's where Trick Daddy from. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, you Miami people, shout it out. This is about Miami, how much fun I had. So I go down there and they telling me about, they got a thing called Goom Bay down in South Beach. Goom Bay was equivalent to the Freaknik in Atlanta or the Greek Fest in Atlanta. What's that, Labor Day in my Virginia Beach. Like I think Labor Day is September. The first week in September, we went down there, we turned it out. Y'all want to hear about how we turned out, Virginia Beach Labor Day? I think it was like 1990, something like that. 89, maybe it was 89. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. We went down there and they had to bring the National Guards on the streets of Virginia Beach because so much New York people went down there and we did our thing and wilded out, and they said it was a riot. You know what I mean? It was an invasion because so many blacks came down from New York City. But let's go back to Miami. So I'm in Miami, and they tell me about Goom Bay. So I got the 750 out there. I didn't get a chance to put up the picture of the wide body, green and white, interior. M3. But I got the M3 down there, the wide body joint. And I shoot over there, and I meet a dude me and my man Diesel, we shooting down to Goom Bay. Now, I got my Tech 9 in between the seats. Diesel got his Tech 9 in between the seats. And we riding on, 95 going down south to Goom Bay. So as we going down there, we see a gray. And, y'all from Miami, y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't say names, but I speak facts because all these are true life stories, So while we're shooting down, there's a dude with a gray Maxima. And he had a big, solid gold chain on. And I had the little... he had a big Dookie Link rope chain on. The joint was about literally this thick. The chain was this thick off his chest, about an inch and a half off his chest. So he got that on, and he got his homies with him, and they got big chains on, Gucci Link chains, and I got my little Rolex chain on. Cost me about $130,000 for the chain with diamonds that say unique. I got the watch on to match. You know what I mean? I had to have a bling with the watch and all that. I'm doing me. And I had the bracelet on the other wrist. So, but the bracelet is thin, and the watch is a Rolex, which is not fancy. If you know what it is, what time it is, you know what it is and what time it is. So now I got that joint, I shoot down there. So when I get down there, we riding down, we meet a dude on the highway, and we yelling out the window. Diesel asking, where you going? Where you going? He like, man, we going down to Goom Bay. I'm like, all right, well, my first time, I'm going to follow you. So we go down there, we follow him. When we get down to Goom Bay, I'm going to give y'all a little reminiscence so y'all know how Miami was rocking. So we get down there to Goom Bay, and you had people that live right by the strip, and they was renting out their driveways so you could park in the driveway because there wasn't no parking spot. So you give them a little $10, you get the driveway. You know me, I give a dude $100. I'm pulling up with, $150,000 car. I give him $100 and tell him I'm parking the driveway. He said, man, for $100, I'm going to wash this joint and everything. So we got it chopped down. He washed it, took the mats out, cleaned it, did what he had to do. We go walk up the strip, and, the little band's coming down, the float's coming down, and, we enjoying ourselves. And I got my 9mm on my waist, and like I said, I'm just wearing a little Gucci, a little Rolex chain. You know what I mean? So we walk back over to the cars. My man got his Maxima parked in the same driveway. We both parked over there, and we backed in so we could get out in case of emergency because mad traffic. So we get over there. Dude turns around, and he's telling me how much money he getting, this and that. So I'm like letting them know, like, yo, family, when I come down to Miami, I come down to party, have a good time, visit my mother. And that's the main purpose, to visit my mother first and then have a good time. So we down here having a good time. So dude is like, yeah, but we paying. I said, dude, I don't care what we paying. So as we sitting there talking, somebody roll up. You know what I mean? Somebody roll up. I got a $150,000 car. I'm wearing $250,000 in diamonds and Rolex. But the local people, no disrespect to the local people, just keeping it 100, they didn't know what it was I was wearing. The value of what I was wearing. So I'm sitting there, and a dude rolls up with like a 38. He rolls up with a 38. Me and the homie talking. He trying to sell me on what they doing down there and all that. So when he roll up, dude puts his hand, his forearm, on my chest. I got $250,000 in diamonds and Rolex on. He put his forearm on my chest, and he says, yo, excuse me. He was polite. He said, excuse me. You know what I mean? My glasses cost $950, some Giorgio Armani's. He put his forearm on my chest and said, excuse me, and threw the 38 in dude's face like this and told him straight up. You know what I mean? He said, yo, take it off. Talking about the big Gucci Link chains. So when he said that, I got the 9 on me. I just meet the dude, you understand? And I didn't want to get involved in what was going on. I don't know the dude. I don't know if it's somebody he had a beef with or whatever. I don't want to get involved in nobody's beef when I'm just down there visiting my mother and have a good time. So I stepped aside, and I peeled over to the side of the building away from the car, so we got to bust shots. None of the shots don't hit my $150,000 car, and I ain't got to pay $20,000-$30,000 to get a bullet hole out the car. So when I peel over there, dude takes his chain off and he robs him. He said, matter of fact, take your shoes off, nigga. So they took the shoes off the dude. You know what I mean? No disrespect. Y'all know who I'm talking about, because we talking about Miami. This is an incident that happened, and I'm sure it was a part of Miami history, even though y'all trying to forget it. He's sitting there barefooted with no jewelry on. And I'm sitting there with my 9mm in my pocket. And I'm sitting there saying, if these dudes look towards me, I'm going to blow their face off. But I respect the fact that they respected my gangster and got me out the way. They were so respectful, they even said, excuse me. So when they did that, I'm sitting there. So after they robbed him and I walked back out, I said, yo, what happened? And he said, man, I don't know. So everybody that's around him, they all talking. So now, one of the dudes tell me, he said, nah, them dudes is suckers. They ain't built like that. And even though we in Miami, a sucker can't have nothing. You know what I mean? That's what they talking about the dude in the maximum. They said, even though, you know what I mean, we in Miami, a sucker can't have nothing because we got wolves down here too. I got $250,000 on my chest. I'm not trying to sit there and have to shoot my way out to keep my $250,000. So I'm just listening. So they tell me, nah, OG, you know what I mean? That's what they calling me. I was young. I was in my 20s. But they called me OG because they could tell my status by what I was wearing. So I said to myself, why would they choose this dude with these big-ass gold chains? They don't know me, and I got this Rolex on my neck. But one thing about Florida dudes, they think twice and they analyze the situation before they move forward. So I guess they figured if they moved on me, I must be connected to somebody or I'm going to bust my gun. The second one is the answer. I'm definitely going to bust my gun. You know what I mean? You know, you know how they say now, you know, how they be sliding. You know, they know, everybody knows who they slide on. You know what I mean? You're not just reckless with it. You know what I mean? You don't just slide on somebody, you know, because you got the ups. You got to think of the consequences and repercussions to your actions and the reaction to your actions before you make a move when it's time to make a stick up. Like, let me give you one. You know, I'm in AJ. I'm riding. I'm back in New York, so y'all keep up. I'm riding. I'm in New York and I'm in AJ Lester. I rode up in AJ Lester and I'm getting some linen shirts, cost like $9.50 a piece. Little linen shirts, the linen shorts cost like $8.50. So like $1,700-1,800 for little short outfits, and I bought maybe, you know, 10 of them. You know what I mean? Just to show you how I'm moving. You know what I mean? Spent a little 17, 18, maybe 20,000 buying the little outfits. But while I'm in there, I see this dude, and when he comes in, I don't see him at first, but the hairs on the back of my neck started standing up. You ever seen a dog when you're walking him and the hair on the nape of his neck stand up? You know, I'm that dog. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Right? So when the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, I got a headache. And, you know what I mean? My heart started beating solid, not fast. Just letting you know, because there was nothing to be scared of, because I got my joint with me and I could hold my own. But my heart was beating solid, like boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? That's how it was beating. So when dude walked by me, he was behind me. I didn't even see him, but I felt it. And the hairs jumped all the way up on the back of my neck. I spin my head around. So I spin my head around. I make eye contact with dude. So when I make eye contact with him, he don't say nothing. I don't say nothing. But I don't break my eye contact. He don't break his eye contact. And he's walking around the store, looking at everything. And the whole time he's walking, he's watching me like this. You know what I mean? And I'm watching him, and we're not taking our eyes off each other, you know? And, you know, he turns around, and he starts walking towards the door, and he's watching me as he's walking out the door, and the hairs on the back of my neck is standing up. Put in the comment what you think that was about, why the hairs on the back of my neck stood up like a dog about to attack. You know, I'm going to tell you without slowing the story down. I'm going to keep this one short to the point. When the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, to give y'all the answer to that, because y'all put in the comment, keep it 100, because that's how my people is. I turn around and I look at dude, you know what I mean? And I'm watching him walk out the door. But my hairs stood up because this was an official brother. Official brother. You understand what I'm saying? That was about the same game that I was into. And mind I take mind, and spirit I take spirit. And soul take soul, and my soul detected that he was a cold killer, if need be. You understand? But before we make a move on somebody, we analyze and assess the situation and the circumstances before we move forward. So he didn't even have to analyze my situation, because I could tell the way he was moving by following me with his eyes that, you know, he was where I was at, that we one of a kind. And it's like you put two magnets together and they won't let you touch. They get this close and you gotta use strength to make it touch. So that's how our magnetic force was towards each other. But they wouldn't touch because we knew to stay away from each other. This might be a little too deep for y'all to understand. Follow me on Instagram, man, and make sure you go to my podcast at Unique Mecca Audio at Spotify and all the podcast stations and download the video audio, please. Now, the magnetic force was there. I felt it. He felt it. He knew what time it was. I knew what time it was. And it is what it is. So now when this jumped off, he walking out towards the front. He never put his hands towards his waist. I never put my hand towards my waist. But my trigger finger, this finger was itching. You know what I mean? And I was warm all over. Because even though we in AJ Lester's on 125th, I'm ready for 125th. Let me show you a picture of 125th so you can see how I was doing on 25th so you understand. I was what they call a prime victim, you know what I mean, of circumstances. This is what it looked like on 125th. You know what I mean? This is what it looked like on 125th. I got to take this picture off. Let me back this up. I'm learning how to work this. That's how it look on 125th. I'm there with all these jewels on. I'm looking like $1 million, man. Like I said, I'm in New York now, even though we at Goom Bay. We're going to get back to Goom Bay, sit back and enjoy the ride. So I pull up on the block and all the girls come want to take pictures of me like I'm the Jay-Z or P. Diddy of the day. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm looking, So dude seen that I had what he wanted, which was the jewels. So he knew my pockets was fat. But at the same time, he felt that magnetic force that let him know, don't get too close because we're not going to be able to touch because we two magnetic force of the same kind. You understand? So while he's walking out, I'm watching him. So as I'm watching him and he get to the door, and this is how gangsters do, so you understand. Y'all might not understand this, and I don't care about the views. I'm just giving my people a glimpse into what it was like. Dude did one of these. He gave me a little head nod. So I gave him a head nod back. That was letting them know, I know who you are. I respect who you are. And we both was respecting each other. So he left without an incident. And I never seen that brother again. Just keeping it 100. Now, I think I did, but we'll get into that another time. But as far as I remember off the tip of my head for the story to keep it going without having to stop to tap back into my mental to remember where, who, wasn't him or whatever, I'm just going to keep it moving. So we, he break out and I break out. So the person that was with me, they didn't peek what was going on. They were like, yo, you, what's up? You ain't even look at this fly. I get you distracted. No, I'm not distracted, nigga. You distracted. You distracted from the reality that a killer was in here. And this killer could have got us right now. He came in and seen who was the baller spending money so he could know who to wait for out front or even rob them in the dressing room if he could. You know what I mean? Big Daddy Kane used to go there. You know what I mean? All the rappers used to go to AJ Lester. They said back then AJ Lester was the top grossing male store in the world, and they only had one store on 125th Street, and maybe one in England, but they only had one in the United States, and they said they were selling more clothes than anybody. Because that was before, the Sean John, the Rockefeller, the Fat Farm, you know what I mean? AJ Lester was the man, legally. And then we had Dapper Dan that was making the gear with the stenciled, brands on it. And even though today we know it's fake, those joints is worth money. I got the Dapper Dan jacket. I got about 10 Dapper Dan jackets. Each one cost me at least $8,500. So I spent about almost $100,000 with that. Big shout out to Dapper Dan. Big shout out to Dapper Dan. That man robbed me without a pistol. I'm not mad at him. It's not a shot at him. I love him to death. That's my brother. That was his hustle. And we respected that. We had no fashion, so Dap created our fashion. Dap let us come in there and stop and say exactly what we want. I want a Mecca Audio logo on the sleeve. I want to say unique on the, of course, the front. On the back, I want to say Master God Allah with 2 sevens on the side and 2 pistols on the bottom. And Dap will have it for you that night if your bag was right, and you could get it in any major name brand you wanted. Dapper Dan is the man. So you suckers and fake trolls, gunshots, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you as much as I hate niggas that wear flip-flops. Trolls is equivalent to niggas that wear flip-flops. I think, you know what I mean? It is a disrespect to the flip-flop wearing brothers. You know what I mean? Brother told me stop using the N-word, so I'm going to correct that. Master 3X, you know what I mean? Muhammad 3X. You know, he sent word to me to slow down on the N-word, so I respect the nation because I came up on the 5 and 6. You know what I mean? So I'll fall back from that. But this brother, you brothers that wear flip-flops, man, let me get close to the camera. You brothers that wear flip-flops, I don't respect you for wearing flip-flops in public because you can't defend yourselves in flip-flops 100%. So you can't defend me. So if any one of my homies wear flip-flops, you can't come around me until you take off those flip-flops. Period. Because you can't defend yourself, you can't defend me, and you never know when war is going to break out. Because America is war. The streets is war. What they say, dudes be sliding. You don't want to do slide up on you running in flip-flops. Flip-flops is everywhere for you running. You know, we don't do that. Let me ride back to Goom, man. You know, I just wanted to take y'all to New York at the same time. So let me switch these pictures up. And I'm going to take y'all back to Goom, man. Where this joint at? All right? Bong. So I know how to work my little system now. And that's what I'm going to do with King Von, FBG, Duck, and the whole gang going. You know what I mean? With you a little later. See how I'm running this system nice and smooth? You know, that's me and Diesel. Like I said, we down there, Boom, baby. So y'all understand. We ride on the highway, running to a dude with a maximum, like 1989 maximum. It's like 1989. We shooting down Goom, baby. We go down there. You got these big ass things. We go down there, dude, put his hand on my chest and tell me, yo, back up. Excuse me. Brother said, excuse me. And through the 30 dude face and took his chains and shoes and had him standing there looking stupid in the middle of Goom, baby. You know what I mean? So now I come back out. So when I come back out, dude with the maximum, he breaks out. So I'm walking. As I'm walking, the dude rolls up on me, and he said, like I said, I'm in my 20s. I'm a kid, but you can tell that that I'm a kingpin kid. And, you know, you can call it that. Dude walked up on me and said, yo, what's up, family? I know you from North. We're on the trouble down here, but that nigga bitch, and he ain't supposed to have that, so we took that. You know? So I looked at him and gave him that and said, man, I respect that. You know what I mean? But, you know, I let him know at the same time, I pulled my foot to the side, and I said, but if you would have went and the other way, it would have been a lot of dead bodies down here in Goom, my brother. So I showed him I had my 9mm on my right hip and my Smith & Wesson on my left hip. And I really got started for doing trials and you fake rat bastards that want to say, do that, say whatever. I already did 26 years over the life of 20 years for that Smith & Wesson on my left hip and the Glock with the infantry on my right hip. So you started laughing. He said, yo, we're going to be up north, you know, Cal City area tonight. Yeah, the dudes just probably do. They're telling me they're going to be up north. You know what I mean? In the Cal City area. I got a crib up there in the Liberty City area right around the corner. You know what I mean? So I'm like, so my man, Diesel, like, oh, yo, can you trust him? I said, Diesel, I don't need to trust him. They need to trust me. And you understand what I'm saying? So I don't need to trust him. So we go uptown and we in Cal City later on that night. So that day on that night, we should go over there to Big Daddy's on 119. Then we hit Big Daddy's over there on 3rd, you know? And then we go over there to Back Jam. Y'all she just busted out laughing and fell on the floor. She fell on the dirty floor, butt naked, laughing. So when she got up, she was so funny. She said, "Nigga, do you see the size of me?" I said, "Hold up." I said, "Give me your hand." I took her hand, you know, no disrespect to the fellas or anybody, you know what I mean? I took her hand and I put it on my joint. So it was, you know, hard at the times of 29. I mean, my joint was harder than a real crack rock in the crack era. She put it on and she said, "Damn." I said, "That's all for you." She said, "Well, I want that challenge." I said, "But I don't feel it's a challenge. I'm just going to knock your back out." You know what I mean? Like I said, I created that saying, "Blow your back out." I got the t-shirts to prove it. Where I had my man Brad Digital. Big shout out to Brad Digital. You know, calm down. I had my man Brad Digital. You know, he used to paint on the hood of the cars back then, the old school cars. But I had to make some t-shirts with girl getting hit for the back with MA on the ass cheek. You know what I mean? And, you know, a cartoon dude with his bandana on that said Mecca on the bandana, and he had his chain swinging backwards. You know what I mean? That said MA on it. And he got his joint going through, you know, going up in the back and coming up out of the back, and it said blowing her back out. That's one of the proof I have that I created that saying for any fake nigga that want to say that they created it. No disrespect to you fake niggas that's trying to get my credit. I've been gone for 26 years and had to keep it quiet while I was gone. But this is what it is, and this is where it's at. I'm here now, so now I'm speaking facts. Anybody, let me look at this camera. Anybody who want to challenge me on anything I'm saying, feel free to do it. But all I ask is that when I prove you wrong, you give me a public apology. That's all I ask. Just like the brother that said the other day, he corrected it, and you know, he said I misinterpreted what he said, and I'll say that and I apologize to him in public because I misinterpreted what he said. Because what I thought he said was that Todd, what's that Suffolk Regional Jail in Virginia, back in the other video, my first day getting locked up. Go check that video out. We in the joint, and he said that the Suffolk jail wasn't built in 1993. When I said I was there, I do no lying, my nigga. My life was screwed up. That's why I'm telling you, the excitement these folks in. Don't go through it. I don't want you to spend 26 years to come home on YouTube or FoodTube or whatever they call it in the next 26 years and tell your story when you could avoid that. So it's for the youngins. Stay out the bull crap. Don't go sliding on your homies. Think before you break a law. And when you about to break a law, just think you're unique sitting in a cell for 26 years. Going to Lewisburg, being in a riot, get my ribs broken, my nuts swelled up this big, all my teeth, front teeth knocked out with an axe handle while I'm handcuffed and shackled for 18 hours in a basement to drive that 750 you see on the left with the $12,000 shoes. I can't put it no better than that. If you brothers can't understand it, I don't know what to tell you. But for you fake cocksuckers, remember, I hate you. I hate you. I hate everything about you fake trolling cocksuckers. Just keep it at 100. But my loyal supporters, my loyal fans and people that just check in, don't call that number on the screen, the 207 number, that's dead. I got a new number that's going to come up, 347-480-9801. I answer my phone. For the brothers that I spoke to on that phone, put in the comments to stand for these fake suckers that would think that a man like me would not honor my word and answer my phone. So again, to you fake suckers, you know what? I gotta take it a step further. I just want to blow your whole face off. You know what I mean? Go somewhere else. If this is not for you, don't come here. This is what we call a gangster channel. If you're not a gangster, if you don't know anything about being a gangster, or if you're trying trying to be formed from being a gangster, this is where you belong. So you know what a gangster really went through. Those fake people that want to act like it was sweet in jail, it wasn't nothing sweet in jail, man. I did 26 years in there. I've been through hell, I survived it. But I'm man enough to admit that it wasn't nothing sweet in prison. So if y'all don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. That's the number to call on the screen. 347-480-9801. Call me on it. Leave a text if you're trying to be a part of the movement with your email. Let me know that you're trying to be there. If you want to be interviewed, you want to be on the platform. This platform is 52,500 strong, and it's created not for me, but for you, to give you a voice. The same way I give my brothers on the inside of the voice, I'm going to give my brothers on the outside of the voice. So that's what it is. But anyway, so that night they, let's ride back. I got a little off track, but you know me, I like to ride. Let's go back. Excuse me. Let's go back to Miami Goom Bay. So now, dude, tell me meet him that night. That night we go up there. We go, like I said, the Big Daddy's on 119, Big Daddy's over on 3rd. We went over there to Pac Jam on 3rd, and then we shot over the Roman Pub. When we shot over the Roman Pub, you know, over there by Miami Nights. Y'all remember Miami Nights? Big shout out to Miami Nights. Big shout out. And just so my old heads, the females and brothers, the seasoned people, you know what I mean, could snap what I'm saying, so they know what I'm saying is official. If you was hearing names of places and just say we never been there. After Miami Nights, we went right next door to the little, you know, Jamaican spot, like, and got the conch. Y'all know about the, let me get up close when I say this so you can see it. The conch. Remember the conch? You know, the conch get your joint this hard, man. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, you know? Just so you understand. I got some phone calls coming in. I got to take this one, so I'm going to have to tap out. So y'all got to bear without me. But we go there to Miami Nights. We do our thing. You want part 2 to what happened at Miami Nights, which is another wild night. I'm going to give it to you. But I just want to take a break from the prison stories and take you on a trip with me. That's me and my man DJ on the 750, you know, down in, you know, Miami, chilling on the beach. I'm driving 750s in Miami, wide body BMWs, twin turbo, you know, Nissan, you know, with the green and white interior, the green and white interior, and the wide body BM. I got the black Saab down there, got the blue BMW 3.25 down there, and some clown, a sucker, a hater, a troll, had the nerve to say, how you getting all that money and you drive the 325? Because, nigga, excuse me, I was supposed to say the N-word. My brother, Muhammad 3X, told me to refrain from that. So, sucker, let me hit it with a gunshot. Sucker, you know what I mean? That made that statement. When you get money like that, man, you just buy a car to support BMW's hustle. I support Mitsubishi's hustle. I support Volkswagen's hustle. I even support your fake ass hustle if you get money. But let me tap out because I've been on here long enough, man, and I don't want to be here and, you know, give y'all too much sunlight and burn you, or too much water and drown your dumb ass. Gunshots to you fake ass niggas and flip flop wearing suckers. You know what I mean?
Cheers, toast the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squealing to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whiny. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the road men.